Today we're going to be talking all about copyright and plagiarism. So what exactly do the words copyright and plagiarism mean? You have no idea? Well, that's what I thought, and that's why we're teaching you about this today. Think about this. You decide you're going to write a song, and you're so proud of this song that you share it with your best friend. However, a few months later, you hear the same song you wrote on the radio. The best friend you shared it with stole your song and said it was theirs. Now, they're a millionaire and they live in a mansion. Your best friend stole the song you wrote and now they're famous. How does this make you feel? I bet I can guess what you said. You most likely said you feel mad, upset, you're unhappy. Maybe you feel cheated. That was your song and someone else stole it. It was yours, not theirs. Your best friend took credit for the amazing song that you wrote. So, what is copyright? I'm so glad you asked this question. Copyright is a type of protection given to anyone who creates something. This includes writing, art, and music. So, copyright is a type of protection given to anyone who creates something. So now that you know what copyright is, what is plagiarism? I'm so glad you asked that question as well. Plagiarism is copying text, images, video, or anything else someone else has created without giving credit to that person. I'm going to say it again. Plagiarism is copying text, images, video, or anything else someone else has created without giving credit to that person. Okay, cool. So you're probably thinking, well, I don't actually want to do my work. I don't want to read the textbook. So I'm just going to copy answers from Google. But that's plagiarism. So why is plagiarism wrong? And this is why you should not do it. Plagiarism is disrespectful to the person who created the work. They worked very hard to make the picture, the writing, the music, whatever it was. They worked really hard to make it. So it is disrespectful to not give them credit. Plagiarism is also stealing because you are taking their work and claiming it as your own. So plagiarism is stealing. Plagiarism is also cheating. When you are just copying and pasting answers from Google, you're not doing the work, and that is cheating. And if you are caught plagiarizing, you get a 0 for the assignment. You might also be suspended or expelled from school. So plagiarism is cheating. And lastly, plagiarism is illegal because plagiarism is stealing. Okay, fine, but what does that have to do with me? Well, I'm glad you asked. If your teacher asks you to write a report or complete a project, they want the work done by you. Your teacher wants you to do the work. They do not want someone else's work. They want work that is done by you. They don't want you to copy words out of a book or copy and paste from a website. Once again, your teacher wants work that is done by you and not by somebody else. All right, well, what if I want to use somebody else's work? That's a great question. And you can use somebody else's work, but this is what you need to do if you're going to use somebody else's work. First, you need to give credit to the person who created the work. You must give that person credit. Secondly, you're going to summarize the words. That doesn't mean copy and paste from Google. You're going to put the words into your own words. If you're choosing to not summarize the words, then you need to put it in quotation marks to say that you are quoting somebody else. You also need to keep track of your sources, which are the places you found the information. And lastly, you must give credit for any images or music you use as well. So if something is not your own, you need to give the person credit who created it, summarize, or put it in quotations. So now that we've gone over that, here are some words you need to know. Citation, source, works cited. But what's a works cited? A works cited is a page that lists all the sources that you used in your paper. So again, know these words. Citation, source, works cited. Say it a bit louder. Citation, source, works cited. I don't think your neighbor next door heard you, so say it even louder. Citation, source, works cited. All right, that's enough. Now your neighbor thinks you're weird because you're yelling out random words. But make sure you remember those words. Citation, source, works cited. So let's go over again what a works cited is. So a works cited is a list of all the sources that you use to find your information. So it is a list of the sources that you used in your paper, in your assignment, whatever you were making. It's a list of sources that you used. You have listed the authors by last name in alphabetical order. So your sources need to be in alphabetical order by author's last name. And your works cited must include books, magazines, websites, images, online databases, encyclopedias. Basically, anything that doesn't belong to you is a source and needs to be cited. So here's a little reminder about what a source is. A source is every place you found your information from. So did it come from a magazine, a book, encyclopedia, a website? So a source is just where you found your information. A citation gives information about your source, and it must be written in a certain way. So a citation gives important information about your source. Side note, different types of sources means you need different information. So a citation for a book is going to look different than a citation for a website. So what are some important information that I need to include in my citation? Great question. Glad you asked it. So some things you're going to need is a title, an author, a publisher, a publication date you looked at the website you're using, the URL for the website you're using, and page numbers if you were using a book, a magazine, or a newspaper. Here's an example for a citation for a print book. You're going to start with the author, and it's last name, then first name. So you start with the author. Then you have the title, and the title needs to be italicized. So you have author, then the title, the city of publication, the publisher, and then the date published. So we can see in our example that the author was Burner Sandy. The book is Looking for Fossils. The city of publication is New York. The publisher is Random House, and the date published was 2013. Now let's look at an example for a magazine citation. So you're going to start with the author, last name, then first name, and then you're going to have the article title, and that needs to be in quotation marks. Then you'll say the magazine name, and then you'll have the magazine date, and then the page numbers that you use. So we can see that the author was Davis, Sam. The article title is Clever Elephants. The magazine name, Animal Monthly. The magazine date, the 18th of February, 2017. And the page numbers that we used were 8 through 10. Next, let's go over an example citation for a website. You're still going to have an author, last name first. If the website does not have an author, you can leave that out and you would just start with the article name. Not all websites are going to list an author, but if it lists an author, you need to include it. And then you're going to have the article name in quotation marks again, title of website, date that the article was published, date you visited the site, and the URL of the site. So we have Dean Alice, 15 Facts About Volcanoes, Science for Kids, June 2010, 25th of August 2016, and then we have the URL. Note, again, just a reminder, many times you will not find the author or the date of a web page, and that's okay. Just write as much information as you can. But if you can find the information, you need to include it. Now let's go over an example citation for an encyclopedia that is in print. This means that it's not on a website, it's not online, it's a print. It's a book. It's a hardcover book. So we're going to have author, last name, then first name, article name in quotation marks, city of publication, publisher, and date published. So we have Klein, Jack, Leopard Sharks, New York, World Book Encyclopedia, 2015. Most encyclopedias you can now find online, and an online citation for an encyclopedia is going to look different than a citation for a print encyclopedia. So we're going to have author, last name, then first name, the title, so the title of the article in quotation marks, the encyclopedia name, the publisher, date of the article, URL of the article, and date you visited this site. So we have Newton Paula, Civil War Causes, World Book Kids, World Book, 2017, our URL, and then 7th of May, 2017. Next, you might want to use a newspaper article. And how do we cite a newspaper article? Well, you're going to start with the author, last name, then first name. Then you're going to have the article title in quotation marks. And then you'll have the newspaper title, the date published, and the page numbers. So we have Atkins Rachel, Ways to Recycle, Daily Times, 17th of April 2017, pages 2 through 3. All right, and our last one is a citation for an online database. So you're going to have author first, last name, then first name, title of the article in quotation marks, the original print source, the date of the article, database name, date you visited the site, and URL of the article. So we have Macy, Sally, global warming, American Science Journal, 6th of October 2013, eLibrary, 18th of August 2017, and then we have the URL. And there is a quick introduction on copyright, citing sources, and plagiarism. And this is going to be something that we continue to talk about for the rest of the year. And I would like to say that I did not create this PowerPoint, so I'm giving a shout out to Staying Cool in the Library, who did in fact make this PowerPoint. I am not taking credit for it. This person did an amazing job, so I'm giving them all the credit. Make sure that if you liked this video to give us a thumbs up and always subscribe to your favorite YouTube channels. And we know McReams and a side of fries is your favorite. So give us a like and subscribe.